how's everything so far? Okay, good. Weeks are passing so quickly, guys, and we are approaching the final weeks of summer semester. Inshallah, next week it will be the final week, and also the final exams will start next week. So we are خلاص, inshallah, we are going to close this semester next week. You will have your quiz, inshallah, as it's stated in LMS. Please don't missed it, because I have some students who missed it for different reasons, but unfortunately they did not reply for approval. So because we have announced it before 3 weeks, I remember. So you should know, and also for the second quiz, you know it before 2 weeks. So you should خلاص specified that day, and only maybe 1 hour you need to do the quiz, and خلاص you finish. So this is just a notice for you guys. Everything is fine except with the 3 students who they have a problem with attendance. So I have emailed them because they did not appear maybe only once. So one student, she is a female, she replied, and I will process her email with excuses to the committee if they are going to approve her or not. The other 2, I still waiting for their reply. Otherwise, they are going to be awarded 0 for attendance, because as you know, guys, attendance is important. And also you may also we are going to have maybe online classes next fall. Some courses will be totally online due to the COVID-19. So inshallah, this pandemic will go over and life will be normal again, and we don't lose any lovers, inshallah, next time. So today we are going, inshallah, to go through the last chapter of BUS 110, or Business Management Principles, which is going to be basics and introductions to accounting. And also we are going to highlight some important part of finance, because as I have stated in the first session, guys, BUS 110 is introduction for all business management courses. So as you can witness, guys, we have went through marketing, we have went through entrepreneurs, business management component. So we have went through business ownership also. So it is almost basics, principles, and inshallah in next levels, level 2 and 3 and 4, you are going to specialize, you are going to be specified in studying such courses. For example, in level 2, you may have a special course which is related to the finance, and the TMA and general assessment will be applied of basic calculations. Okay, so let's just move on to this interesting class as we usually do. Okay, so the most important, all the classes they are recorded and I have uploaded them on LMS. You can check them on a weekly basis. Modi. So the most important thing, guys, for this class is we know how we're going to differentiate between two most important component of calculations of numbers, which is accounting and also finance. So these two important components, and as you can see, guys, the most important thing in organization is the cash. By the way, guys, okay, let's just move on to the first session, and then we are going to have a discussion. Also, we're going to highlight the main processes of accounting component. Then we are going to go through various components of how we are going to evaluate firms' bottom line, a very important one, and the most important thing, how we are going to interpret, how we are going to expound the balance sheet. Very important component. What is the point? The point is we know what is the financial position of the company. The most important thing, guys, in accounting and finance is the cash. Okay? And we have stated in the previous weeks the most important component of marketing is the consumers. Because if you don't have consumers, you are not going to have a cash. And the most important thing of operation is the customer value. And the most important thing of human resources is the employees. So the question is that, guys, what is the importance, or what is the point of the cash? Yes, Yasmin? Maintain the company good earners. What else? Bit easy, you can solve it here faster. What else? Think of cash and how organization get used of it. What is the importance? Yes, Modi? Shopping where what do you mean, Modi? Your point is hazy. It's not clear. I want you to pay attention to the importance of cash, because next time we are going to have it. How we are going to define, guys, accounting? It is basically a very brief definition, conception of accounting. It is related to every single transaction which should be recorded, measured, expounded for the financial information. Okay, what is the role of accountant, guys? What basically accountant usually do? Thank you, Muhammad. Basically, they are recording every transaction. They are recording what we can call it again the cash. Sometimes the cash will be in and sometimes the cash will be out. We are going to go through it in detail as I have expounded earlier. Certified public accountant, which is a very professional certificate, and it's important for those who are working. Do we have the students who is in accounting track? Anas? Okay, Yasmin, Muhammad. You are employed, guys? Anas, Yasmin, Muhammad. So you do accounting, Muhammad. Anyone works as an accountant in a company? Okay. Okay, guys. Which is basically, as I have said earlier, guys, it is a very important professional certificate where those who are working in accounting should have it. And usually employees in accounting in the private sector or even in the public, after having a very good experience in doing some accounting information, they should have the certified or the CPA. It is a very important for their CV, and also it's going to advance their knowledge plus their experience. So let's just imagine Yasmin or Anas or Muhammad, after graduation, he worked as an accountant in Rajhi Bank, and after 5 years he decided to go for CPA, and he got it for the first time. So he has a very excellent experience, and plus he advanced and updated his CV with the CPA, so definitely he is going to have a very great offers, whether from the same bank or in other similar banks. So it is a very important. Even in marketing, we do have the same. In management, we do have the same. So we are working in advancing that type of Anas, we in Arab Open University, we are having a discussion with one of the franchisor of the CPA from, I think, United States or UK. I'm not sure about it. And we are going to have a meeting after Eid, inshallah. We may have the license, so students who are doing, and also plus practitioners, those who are employees, those who are in banks, organizations, private sectors, business owners, they can do the CPA in Arab Open University, inshallah, after having the agreement. If we reach an agreement with them, which is going to be maybe in September or late October, if we have agreed. So students and employees They can do it at Arab Open University. They finish assessment and requirement, and they get the CPA. Well done, congratulations. So hope inshallah we have reach an agreement with them. But again, as I have stated, guys, you should bear in your mind having professional certificates, CPA, STAT, SBA, also in human resources, some Oracle. We do have a number of professional certificates, so you need to update your CV. But the most important thing to have experience. Have your experience 2, 3, 5 years, then have your professional certificate, then you are booming in labor market. Private accountant, those who are going to be employed, but as its name indicates, it is indeed private because they are working for themselves, so they are going to be employed by a very huge and big organization. Sometimes government agencies and other organizations to prepare, and the most important thing is they want to make an analysis of the financial statement. They are going to check in and out every single transaction which is related to their budgeting, balance sheet, daily transactions, debt, and any other component which is related to having the opportunity of cashing and liquidity of it. CMAs, again, which is related to those who are certified in management accountant. Private ones, those who are going to have a National Association of Accountants and have almost the same managerial responsibility. Again, we are still in the certified and professionals certificates, which is important for those who are going to proceed in not moving to the academia, because sometimes you don't need it if you want to stay in academic levels. But it will give indication that you are paying attention to your updates in your majors, and sometimes accounting or accountant have a daily routine by what we can call them as a bookkeeping. Those who are going to record the daily transactions. So their rules is going to have a daily, as I have stated, we can call it here a daily job for this who is going to do it in a daily job. And I want to highlight a very important point, which is nowadays you can have even the small shops and the small companies, they have computers, okay, or iPad. Sometimes stores use iPad in order to record every transaction in daily basis, okay. Because we don't have the oldest type of recording where do you have pen and paper. It's old-fashioned now. Now even a small store, they do have computers. So they record transactions, how much they get in cash, how much they have spent, any movement in the cash, how much they have spent on a daily basis, how much they got. So every single transaction which is related to the accountant is going to be recorded daily. As I have stated, guys, nowadays most of organizations, they do it on PCs or computers for different reasons, increasing efficiency, having more clarity about performance, also trust, a very important component, having the trust. Okay, so here is like you guys, which after 4 years you may get your accounting certificate from Arab Open University, and you will start your work as an accountant in any big or small companies, private or public sector. So it's depend on your experience, your knowledge. The most important thing is your knowledge, how you are going to improve it. You should read it from the slide, from the book, from the blogs, from online. You should practice, because you are going to be an accountant. You will be responsible for the cash of the company that going to hire you, inshallah, in the future. Why managers needs accounting information? The most important thing, they need it in order to have what we can call it as an internal control. Sometimes managers need accounting information for reporting to other agencies. Okay, like for example, here in KSA we have Zakah and Income Authority. Okay, so they are responsible for having every single transaction. They are following with both private and public sectors. They are looking for accounting information, especially the VAT. And you know, guys, that in September we are going to have 15% VAT. So we have also a committee from Zakah and Income Authority to check the reports, okay, of the financial and accounting information. How much we have got a VAT and how much we are going to pay for a Zakah Authority, in order to calculate those accounting information. Because as you know, we are not having the VAT. It's not for the organization. It's not for Arab Open University. It's not for Bilatif Jamil or for other companies. It's going to go for the government. So what we are going to have is just only a collector. We collect the VAT from the consumers, and then Zakah Authority, we are going to have them, and now they are connected with us in softwares, okay, in a platform, in online platform. So there is no need to visit us in the company. So they are advanced, which is good, because if they are going to visit all organization, it will be a big headache. It will be a big problem. They are going to lose information. But nowadays, due to the advancement in information technology, we just log in after. I don't really remember if the finance department, they do it on a weekly basis or monthly. So they update the VAT of Arab Open University in order to collect it by Income Authority. And also sometimes if the company is a private, like for example Sabic company, also Tadawul, they need accounting information, okay, to update also traders, investors, and other parties who may be involved in the company's performance in a way or another. Organizational use also, they are interested in having accounting information like the board, which is basically number one. We can call it every organization, they do have what we can call it as the board of directors. It is important for doing control, very basic. Also owners, again, why owners guys need accounting information? Simple and easy. Make decision. Thank you, Anas. Auditing. Good, Shahid. So it's basically for evaluation, right, Anas? So it is important for those who are owning or the owner of the business to know what is going on about the cash. How is accounting information move on? What is, the health of the cash? Is the company is good or bad? Do we have very good sales or do we have bad sales? So all these are related for accounting information. Owners, board of directors, managers, MIS, business research, internal control, all of them, they should know how is the cash going on inside the company. It is very important for different reasons, as we have expounded earlier, guys. For making decision, for going for investments, for going for reducing sometimes new product lines, for having new employees, sometimes for removing old ones, expanding, going for new markets, targeting a new segment. So all these are important for having an updated, accurate accounting information inside the company. Stakeholders, again, as we have stated, we are not going to stay here long. Why we should have accounting information as an internal process. One of the most important things is that, as we can call it, the managerial accounting. Okay, you are going to have it a very different course. If you are specialized in accounting, you will have an independent course which is called managerial accounting. So you will have managerial accounting in details, with different examples, different information which going to be detailed. It's a heavy one, which is related to the internal use of accounting statement by managers, usually those who are head of finance and accounting, in order to plan and direct organization activities. The second important element or component of the accounting information we need is what we can call it as the cash flow. Very important one, this one. Okay, what is the importance, or basically what is cash flow, which is related to how the movement of money is going to go through organization in daily basis, in weekly basis, in monthly one, and sometimes in yearly. So let's just try to explain it in examples in order to make it easy. Unfortunately, Yasmin, I do have some students who complained about Arabic. For that reason, I should stay in English. They don't speak Arabic, so and also English language is the main use of the classes. So it is easy. Yes, you can Google it and it will be fine. But for your colleagues, we should be ethical, and we should respect because they don't have Arabic, so they should get the knowledge in English. So let us think of the organization which is going to have income in guys, what is basically the cash which is going out in monthly basis from the company? What element of the cash which is going out from the company on monthly basis? Thank you, Anas. Thank you very much. Well done. Okay, this is very good examples of one element of cash which is going on monthly basis. Every organization, they do have employees. And in most scenarios, they are going to pay salaries on monthly basis. So in this case, we are going to have a cash flow which is going to be stated, which is going to be recorded as cash out on monthly basis. We are going to make the calculation, how many employees and how much they get in salaries. We are going to have it in a yearly basis. So we do have, for example, 50 employees. They do have different ranges of salaries, and we are going to present it in yearly basis. So in this case, we are going to have a cash which is going to be in out. Yes, we are going to explain it in details later on. Okay, a very important question which is again related to the cash. From where the company get cash in? From where company get cash in? Thank you, Rina. From customers, or what we can call it from the sales. Okay, from the sales. Okay. Again, yes, Anas. This is my question. What else? Thank you, Ali. The company can have cash in from a loan, from the banks, for example. And from equity, stocks, from returning debts, paying loans from others. So all these now we are going to explain how we are going to put it in the cash flow statements. And one of the most important components, which is related to accounting information, which we can call it as a budgeting, which you may be familiar with, which is an internal financial plan that sometimes forecast expenses and income in specific period of time. Most of organizations, they do have budgeting in 2020. But when we approach the COVID-19 in maybe March all organization they have changed their budget. Why? What do you think, guys? Why companies change their budget due to the COVID? Yes, Anas. Thank you, Abdullah. One of the most important reasons is that they don't have income, no sales. So they have went through what we can call it as a recession, okay, a hold of market, no purchasing power, no consumers willing to purchase, and the most important thing is that they don't know the future of COVID-19. When it's going to finish, are they going to have a vaccine? Vaccine will be fine, will work, or still some having problems? Or yes, thank you, Shahad. One of the most important thing is that to avoid bankruptcy. And also we can call it as a plan B. Sometimes organization they do have a plan B, but I am sure no one in the private or even the public or even governments sectors, they have witnessed what they have faced in COVID-19. A very big problem, financial problem for all companies. We cannot say that some sectors they didn't get affected and others. No, all sectors they have affected by the COVID-19. And unfortunately, some companies they get bankrupt. Some companies started to get rid of some employees, unfortunately. Some companies started to cut or moving to cost-saving strategy. All of this due to the COVID-19. We don't know where we're going to hit. And still, until now, we are almost in KSA, and I think in some Arab countries they have went to the normal life mode. But the problem is that, as you can see in the economic news and maybe in your personal, no one wants to go outside. No one wants to purchase from restaurants, from shops, from going store in the shopping malls. So because of one, you may have a problem in your finance. Two, you are afraid to get affected, God forbid, for the COVID-19. Number three, you are not sure of the future or your finance. Number four, your organization may be affected and you may be get some reduction in salary. Most of companies they went through two options, whether to get rid of some employees, unfortunately, so they are now jobless, or reduce their salaries. And you need to pay, you as English says, put yourself in their shoes. You don't have sales, you don't have purchasing power, you have VAT 15%, you do have some recession in your products. What do you have? What option you can go? You need to save costs. If you are doing some training for your employees, you are going to stop it. If you are going to do some advertising campaign, maybe you are going to stop it. If you are going to have a new employees hiring, also you are going to stop it, because this is again how economy. And if you can remember, guys, we have I remember in chapter 2 we have went through it. Option. So as we have stated, sometimes organization, they don't have option. One of the most important here, we have explained it earlier. Let's just highlight the annual reports for organization, which is usually done, as its name indicates, in a yearly basis, and it should cover important information which is related to the finance. It should cover what basically products the company offered. It should also cover any growth plan for the owners and potential investor, because sometimes if the company is doing very good in sales, they might have new investors. Because the company is doing very good in marketing, and also they are doing very good in sales, so there is a high percentage for new investors to join in with different percentage. Having audits for financial, which is going to should be certified, and this is processed by the way, guys, it is accounted in some of countries, and here we should have it in only private sector. Private sector, they should, if the organization work in, just to presume it as example, for example, a company, they should have audited financial statement from outside certified public accountant, whether it is an accountant or a finance, because sometimes it should be certified from the finance one. But the most important thing, it should be from outside, because they are not convinced, or they are not going to approve your financial statement. Okay, because they need to have it from in order to process your financial statement. And as I have stated, guys, it is almost for not most, all the private companies, and sometimes they do have for the public, because they do have budgeting, but they do have a Ministry of Finance department, which is just only for following with governmental organization, how much they have spent, how much they have gained, where did they spend their budget, how did they spend the budget, and any increase in the payment or decrease, so it should be calculated in the financial statement. One of the most important things we need to highlight, guys, is accounting equations. And as I have stated earlier, guys, most of companies nowadays, they are using electronic devices such as the computers or the PCs. But now, if you are an accountant, I strongly advise you to get advanced knowledge in the Excel program. Although it is old, but it is very good for accountant. I know that there is an advanced software accounting software, but the most important element for doing equations for accountant is the Excel. And nowadays you can just YouTube how to get professional in Excel. You will have a huge number of videos. You just need to stay, have pencil and paper and practice. Do you know that some organization until now they are doing their budget in Excel? Until now. Because it is a very important for those who are doing an accounting. Although some organizations they do have advanced than the Excel, some companies use, I remember, Excel, Stat, and I remember I did a training session for one company. They have stated that they do have, I forget the name of, specialized in making budget and cash flows. Again, they are using it, not the Excel. So it is it is a skills, okay? It is a skills to improve your performance in doing accounting information. So the accounting equation, which state clearly that every organization should have what we can call it as assets. How we are going to expound to interpret assets by two main components. One, which is liabilities. The other one, which is related to what we can call it in accounting, owner's equity. Very important ones. Those going to impact on assets. What do we mean by assets? Guys, it is very clear here. It's an economic resources like the cash, inventories, land, equipment, building, other tangible or intangible things. The most important point, guys, about assets, why is assets important? Why we should pay attention to assets? Why assets has equation? Because we can cash assets. Okay, for example, the cash is clear. Inventories, we can offer it for sale, and then we are going to have cash. Land, we are going to offer it for sale. Again, we are going to have a cash. Equipment, the same. We are going to offer it in the market. We are going to have a cash. Buildings, the same scenario. Other tangibles, the same scenario. But what about, guys, intangible things? Can anyone think of intangible things? Need effort? Goodwill, thank you, Ali. Excellent, Ali. But goodwill, you cannot see it. And its impact on the cash. What else? What do you think, guys, of a bake? What do you think of a bake brand name? Strong or weak? No, I'm just using, yes, strong brand name. Think of the sales. Al-Habib Hospital. Al-Habib Hospital, what do you think? Strong or weak brand name, guys? Very strong, thank you, guys. And also we can think of the patent. For example, Apple company, they do have a very huge number of patent, which is going to impact again on the cash. All the component, guys, which we have stated, the main important factor which is related to the cash. Because by the end of the day, the amount of the cash the company has, we can link it to its prosperity, wealthy, success. The other the liabilities, which is the main component of assets, which is going to be related to the debts that the company owes others. And owner's equity going to equals assets minus liabilities, and it's going to impact or reflect on history value. Owner's equity, which is, as we have stated earlier, it is owner's equity in the company's balance sheet. Every owner or every founder of a business, they should have some percentage. Okay, this percentage is differ according to the portion that owners have invested in the company. You can just log into, for example, Rajhi Bank, and then check off the owners of the share of owners percentage in the bank. Al-Habib Hospital Group, they went through IPO in
I remember in April, Al-Habib, they went IPO in April. If you just check the percentage of the owners, it's going for number one, the highest for Sulaiman Al-Habib, and number two for Hisham, the son of Sulaiman. So the highest it's going to be for Hisham Al-Habib, and then it's going to be for Sulaiman, and then it's going to be for Hisham. Because they are basically, and it makes sense, those who are founded the business. The founder of Al-Habib Group, Dr. Sulaiman. He started the business in 1991 in Al-Alaya Street with maybe one clinic, and they started to increase, and nowadays, mashallah, they have a very huge branches and a very strong brand name. And also, don't forget God will. Okay. Double entry bookkeeping. It's going to be related to more an electronic recording practice. The point is to classify business. Here is the most important thing of it, to classify business transactions in order to, the point is maintaining the balance of the equations. A very important point of an accounting or an accountant, or even those who are working in the finance. Because we need to check off the balance. A very important one to make it in. Sometimes it's this practice, guys, is different. Okay, it's not necessarily to be in the same scenario. Each transaction must be recorded into separate accounts. Sometimes organization they do have more than two. And sometimes organization, if they are small, they do have it in one account. So they are recording equation in one, the recording of balance equation in one account. Because they don't have that big sales. You are talking about a company which they achieving on daily basis 500 riyal to 1,000. So what is the point of recording all these separated accounts for the balance? And sometimes companies like Al-Baik or like Habib Hospital or Rajhi Bank, they do have more than maybe 5,100 riyal, or sometimes they get 1 million. So in this case, they need to record it maybe, as I have stated earlier, in more than one account, because they do have fortune, mashallah. On daily basis, they are achieving fortune. In order to balance this cash, make it clear, recorded accurately, they should have it on daily basis, as I have stated, in separated accounts. Classification, which is again, all businesses should have it in classified as assets, liabilities, owners' equities, and the breakdown, which is going to be classified as the cash, inventories, and it's going to be related to equipment, liabilities broken, any supply, or any other cash movements. Those process is going to be related into four main steps. One, we should have examining resource document. Should make it clear. Is number one, we should check, are these resources authentic or not? Are they accurate? Are they updated? We need, especially in accounting, up-to-date recording in order to make a daily accurate basis. Recording transaction in accounting in journal, or as I have stated earlier, most of nowadays accountant, they are using softwares which make their transaction and calculation fast and easy and accurate. Posting and preparing the financial statement, which is going to be related to every single transaction that the company going to make. So only here we do have definition, which is going to be related to the journal, which is a list of an accountant transaction. That means we are going to have different list for different transactions, ledgers, who is going to have it computerified with separated section going to explain each account in the transaction or trial balance. We are going to have it as a very summary balances of an accountant in a general ledger, which is going to be again linked to the trial ones. Income statement. Again, it is a very important component of finance. Again, think of the cash. All the functions of accounting and mainly in finance related to how we are going to balance and control the cash of the company. So the income statement, as its name indicates, it is a statement for the income, so it is easy. Related to making a financial report which is going to explain from firms or organization profitability. A very important component of income statement, which we can make it here as equation. Profitability, which is related to the company's profit. Sometimes the profit come on a daily basis. Sometimes can be on a monthly one, quarters every 3 months, and sometimes it's going to be a yearly one. On a daily one, think of McDonald's, guys. Can you give us a roughly estimation of the daily income for McDonald's? Roughly, we can estimate 10,000, maybe Wallahi, I may go for uh, 20 for each price salad. Wallahi, I think they may have more than this. Do you think McDonald's they are making sales on daily basis 20,000? Wallahi, I was thinking that they are making more. Okay, anyhow, we are just using numbers to make an estimation of a daily. So what about the bake? If this is in McDonald's, what about the bake? Can you estimate number of daily sales in the bake? Maybe the same, Salim. Anas 40. Wallahi, I think the food industry they are making very good sales on daily basis. Companies like McDonald's, like البيك, like Hirfi, like Mansiya, those good fans on food industry, they are making very good sales on daily basis. Think of the sales on the month, and exactly they are leading the food industry in KSA. On the monthly basis, you need to think of some of situations. Like one clear examples is like what's happened in the COVID-19. If we think of the sales of Al-Bake and McDonald's and Hirfi in COVID-19, they have affected, definitely. We are totally agree. Yes, decrease. And sometimes companies get use of sales in other occasions like Ramadan. In Ramadan, most of organization they are achieving a very high sales. That means they are earning very good profit. Also think of back to school occasions, especially for Jarir. Okay, what do you think of the sales of Jarir bookstore in September? When they do have back to school occasions? Jarir bookstore guys? Yes, they are expensive. Do you agree that Jarir bookstore is expensive, guys? Okay. What about the quality, guys? Think of the quality, which is a very important component in making purchasing. Thank you, guys. So that means good service. Okay, Salim. So think of most of you as a consumer, guys. As a consumer, even in your personnel, you are not going to purchase a product with very poor quality. Definitely no, because you are going to lose your money. For that reason, maybe Jarir offering very good quality with a high price. Who is the competitor of Jarir, by the way, guys? Can they still exist, Salim? Well, I think they closed المكان. Uh-huh. Okay. Time is passing so quickly, so let's just go back to income statement. So as we have stated, this income statement, like what we have explained, guys, in البيك or Jarir or McDonald, they are going to have it in a daily basis, and sometimes they are going to make the calculation on a monthly one, quarters every 3 months of the year, or sometimes annually. Revenue, which is going to be the total amount of money, okay, the total amount of money that the company is going to achieve from the sales. And then later we are going to have what we can call it in counting the net revenue, okay, the net revenue, which is going to be the accurate number of money that the owners or the company achieved from having sales. So we here have equivalent terms in account, which is going to be used equivalently. That means the same. Revenue, again, we can use the sales or goods or services sold. GP or gross profit, it is again linked to gross income or gross earnings. Operating income, operating profit, earnings before, a very important term here, earnings before interest and tax, income before interest and taxes. And you can use the abbreviation, guys, it is very important here, EBTI or IPIT, income before taxes, earning before taxes, and profit before taxes. Net income, as we have stated, it like earnings after taxes, profit after taxes, income available common stakeholders, which is going to reflect on the earnings available to common stockholders. So this we can make equation as this, because sometimes in exams they may use different terms, okay? So they may refer to the sales and it's make the same meaning of revenues. Operating income, it means the same of operating profit, because sometimes person who is using terms maybe sometimes use it differently, but by the end of the day it makes the same meaning. So we are running out of time, guys. Gross income and expenses, which is related to revenues minus the cost. Okay, you can have it here. Okay, So it's going to be revenues minus the cost of goods sold, required, and generated revenue. The most important thing is that it makes some revenues for the company, the income available after paying all expenses of production, expenses which is going to be linked to the cost incurred, a very important term, incurred in day-to-day operation, because sometimes cost can be made at the end of the week, on a yearly basis, on a monthly one, and sometimes expenses go to be differently. Very clear example, guys, is the cost that you are going to pay, for example, for electricity bills. Most of organizations, they pay electricity bills on a yearly basis. So that means they are going to pay all the bills of electricity by December, 31st of December 2020. Also, like net bills and other expenses which is going to be on a yearly one. And sometimes cost it's going to be on a daily ones. Those which is going to be related to, for example, the cars. If McDonald's delivery car get an accident, so in this case they may have a cost on that day, so it's going to be recorded at a specific day of the financial year. Again, other expenses which can be related to selling or admin expenses, including depreciation, which is again a very important term, especially for equipment, for doing some research or R&D in general, interest expenses, sometimes those which is going to be related to VAT, depreciation, which is a very important component of financial expenses. Depreciation, what do we mean by depreciation in accounting? Yasmin, Anas? Yes, in Arabic, for your colleagues to understand depreciation, because it is very important. No, not remove S, okay? We can call it as, okay? Yes, so it is related to the process of spreading the cost of long-lived assets such as building. I can explain it here as the car. Okay, think of let's just presume McDonald's purchase today they purchase a car worth 50,000 riyal. Okay, the car now they just purchased it from Abdul Latif Jamil, 50,000 riyal. How much the car going to worth after by the end of 2020? How much roughly? Anas 30 maybe, or maybe, yes, maybe 30, maybe less than 30. And because imagine McDonald's, the car will be evolved, will work maybe 24/7. Okay, they are working from 7 in the morning. No, I think it's 24 hours, 7 days. So I think it's going to be less. Maybe they are going to have it in 15, maybe 15,000. And the driver of McDonald's, so I think it's going to be maybe 15 to 10,000 riyal. So this is what do we mean by depreciation, which is again, think why we are thinking of depreciation in accounting and finance, again because it represents the cash. Again, think of the building. Let's just presume one company purchase a building with 1 million. After a number of years, the price is going to be affected. It's not will be the same. The plant, the machine, also it's going to be depreciated. That means the price, or let's just use the cash because it is important for an accountant. The cash will be totally different from what or from the first time that the company owns that assets, whether it is a building or a car or machines or whatever. So for that reason, it is a very important. And the most important thing, it needs to be reflected on accounting periods. Okay? It's need to be reflected on accounting period in order to know how much it's going to worth as a cash. So we have explained depreciation. A manufacturer here, $100,000 US. Okay, we have explained it. Okay, and net income, which is again a very important component of accounting information, which is going to explain the total net or less after calculation all expenses. Okay, after calculation all taxes, reduction of revenues, or all these components which is going to be impacted on the net income, balance sheet, which is a snapshot of organizational financial position. Okay, a very important point to explain what do we mean by balance sheet. It is important, the importance of balance sheet comes from expounding every item which is going to represent a cash for a company or the organization, because sometimes also organization they do have a balance sheet. So it's going to explain every single assets that the company owns. Also, it's going to explain every single fund which is going to be used for payment. This can include banks, loans, owner equities, other investors, stakeholders, which is going to be involved in the pay of assets. The traditional, which is nowadays most of, not most, all companies nowadays, they are using electronic softwares for doing balance sheet. No one now make a balance sheet with pencil and paper, no. At least those who are not advanced in technology, they are using the Excel. They are using the Excel for making balance sheet. Have you used MS Excel for making balance sheet? It is very easy, by the way, guys. It is very easy. Also, Yasmin, for making a balance sheet in Excel sheet. Nowadays, most, as I have stated, companies using advanced one. The assets, which is going to be one component of balance sheet, it should be related to the current ones, and we mean by current ones, which is going to be related and used into cash, as I have explained, in one calendar year. Okay, that means from January to December. From January to December, almost we are talking about one financial year. Sometimes organization and companies, they do have it from March to March. Like in March 2019, and the financial year is going to finish in March 2020. So sometimes company, because they want to include the first quarter of the new year in the balance sheet. Okay, accounts receivables, which is going to be the money owned a company by clients who is going to promise to pay the product for a specific date. Okay, but just presume Rajhi Bank, who is expecting to have a loan from the client on a daily basis, especially if they have involved in, and they think they have a huge number of products which is related to the loans of for Rajhi. Because we do have a huge number of consumers who interested in purchasing. So immediately they go to the nearest Rajhi Bank, say, I want a loan, I want to go for a travel, purchase a new car, for my kids' education. So in this case, the consumer is going to pay that type of amount for the products on a specific date on the month. So the cash is going to be deducted from the client's accounts on a specific date, and then going to be that means it's going to be cash receivables. Current liabilities, just imagine that companies having problems in one of its issues, and they want to move on for creditors. That means they want to have a cash. So immediately they may go to the bank, ask for a loan, and then they are going to explain it in the balance sheet as a current. How we are going to make the difference between current and non-current, we are going to make it with the time. The two most important factor in accounting and finance is the cash and the time. If you are going to have a cash on a very quick time, that means you are doing a very good accounting and finance. And if you do have problems in your sales plus having the time, they are going to make again problems. For that reason, if you are following and watching economic news, most of the analysis says governments and countries and also companies need at least 2 years from now to recover from the COVID-19 impact. Think of the cash. Again, we have the time, we have the cash. That means we are expecting to get recovered within 24 months from now, and we are also expecting the cash
going to be slow, not smooth or good like other companies. Different companies would get recovered quickly, such as those who are in food industry or in health industry like Al-Habib, رعاية الرياض, those who are making a very different business sectors, they may get recovered quick. Account payables, which is going to be related to the amount of the company owes to the suppliers when they are going to purchase it, how much is going to be, and how much cost is going to be also. And if there is any additional cost that the company is going to face, accrued expenses, which is an account presenting for those in or unpaid financial obligations for different reasons. Just to presume this scenario, a company went to Samba Bank, say we need 1 million Riyal to increase our operations. We promise Samba we will pay this in December 2019. The deadline is over, the company could not pay that amount of money. Again, this amount of money, even if it is not paid, it should be listed as incurred expenses, because these expenses going to be represented in the account of the organization. It should be clear. Every single transaction, even if the company paid or the company could not pay it, or if the company is going to plan future operation, they should be listed, should be cleared. This is why balance sheet is important for companies. We are running out of time again. The owner's equity, we are not going to stay here, we expend it. Accountant listed as owners, okay. A statement of cash flows. We need to save it here because it is important. As its name indicates, cash flows, which is going to expound how the company's cash is moving on. Sometimes companies face difficulty in getting cash, and sometimes companies getting a very huge cash on daily basis. We can explain it here as the food industry. Think of Al-Bake or McDonald's or Herfi business. They are achieving cash on daily basis. And sometimes, like Al-Bake, they, mashallah, have a very huge number of cash on daily basis. And in the same scenario, some organization, they don't have cash on a daily basis. What do you think, guys? Can we think of companies who did not achieve cash on daily basis? We can think of maybe bookstores, a very regular bookstore, which is basically like nowadays, they don't have demand. No consumers visit them. We can think of salons, Anas, although they have now, yes, thank you, Anas, due to the COVID-19. So the consumers is reluctant, okay, for going for salons and barber shops. So thank you, Anas. This is a very good example. Nowadays, yes, we can have barber shops who maybe they did not get a cash on a daily basis. They opened from early morning to late night, but no consumer show up. So in this case, the cash on daily basis will be zero. This is the most important thing for having, and we can think of consultation company in business, for example. Sometimes business consultation, they don't achieve cash on daily basis. They do have cash on projects. Okay, so cash going to organization going to have cash from three main resources. Okay, one, the cash which is going to come from operation activities, which is going to be related to revenues, current assets, or cash liabilities and debts. Cash which is going to come from investments activities. Sometimes companies going to long or short term investments. Cash which is going to be from financial activities, long debt liabilities, or if the owners decided to put more money, or if they have get finance from other components of organizations. So by this, guys, we have reached our final slide and we close the financial and accounting chapter. Any questions before we leave, guys? Okay, thank you very much, guys. I just want you to remind you of the quiz next week. So far, most of you, they are doing good with me in participation, in also being active on LMS, on doing assessment. So we need just you guys to take the quiz next inshallah week, and we will have the take-home exam on when is your take-home exam, guys? Yes, 19th. So just have your take-home exam, work on it. It will take maybe 1 day to do it, and you submit it. But the most important thing is to think of plagiarism, because again, guys, plagiarism, I cannot do anything about it. Plagiarism just comes from the VRA office, and unfortunately, if a student caught with very high percentage of plagiarism, they awarded 0. So just pay attention to this point. Other thing will be fine. Next Tuesday, inshallah, we are going to meet again for revision class. We will revise the whole chapters for next session. We will revise the chapters which is included in your exam. And next week is your quiz, and also final exams will start. So from now, bye bye. Inshallah, we will meet again Tuesday, the same time, the same place. From me, wish you best of luck and good day. Bye bye. Thank you, Anas.